Srika Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupan Guru Varga ki jai, Pradip Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Radha Vinu Bihari Ji ki jai, Radha Ramana Ji ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So we're going to start on page 1 with Mangalacharan. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukapada Kamalam D-A-N-D-E Vande. Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Shri Krishna Leela Katani Sudaksham Avadarya Madhurya Gunashya Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasham Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padabjamritaita Hridye Chaitanya Leela Amrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namahum Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namahum Vishnupadaya Gaurapresthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Prajnan Keshava Nityanamine Prativardhacharitraya Svashritanam Chapaline Jiva Dukhe Sadarkaya Sri Nama Premadayine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanto Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanami Devi Ganikaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojjvala Premadhya Shri Rupananda Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanam Vagninudhapo Siddhanta Dvampaharine Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagyam Murtaye Vipralambhara Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगम्बराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्दिष्टा सचनप्रिय वैष्णवः सर्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्तो राधाकान्तं नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गो मम मन्दं मते गते मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोज राधामगमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमान् श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेव पृष्ठादिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशीवत्ततस्थितः कर्षन्नेनुस्वनर्गोपि गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तु नः वृन्दाये तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णो भक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमः दाम्पत्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुदिवर्धनं प्रतिपलं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मा समनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलम् खलु नास्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया What page? Page 33 in our Gaudiya Giti Sangha 32 in this book 32 or Jiva Pavana Prabhu. Is he there? If you're there, Dandavat Pranam. Usually he posts the bhajan within the comment section underneath the video. कृपा बिंदु दीना पूर्वे दासे तृणपेखाय गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दीना पूर्वे दासे तृणपेखाय सकल सहने बल दिया कोरो सकल सहने बल दिया कोरो जमाने श्री होनी जमाने श्री होनी गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दीना गुरुवे दासे तृणपेखाय गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दीना गुरुवे दासे तृणपेखाय सकले समान कुरिते शाकति देहना बुझता सकले समान कुरिते शाकति देहना बुझता तबे तो गाही मोहर नाम सुखे तबे तो गाही मोहर नाम सुखे अपराध हवे हाथों अपराध हवे गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दीना गुरुवे दासे तृणपेखाय गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दीना गुरुवे दासे तृणपेखाय कबे हेरो कृपा लोभियाए जाना कृतार्थ होनी मेरा Ohe Vaishnava Thakur, page 39. O-H-E, Ohe. Ohe Vaishnava Thakur, Loyaro Sama, Vedase Guruna Kure, Diyapada Chaya Shuddha He Amare, Tumara Charana Dhuri. Vaishnava Thakur, Doyaro Shama, Vedase Karuna Kore, Diyapada Chaya Shuddha He Amare, Tumara Charana Dhuri. Chaya Vegadori, Chaya Dosha Shuddhi, Chaya Guna Devo Dasi, Chaya Sata Sangha Deho He Amare, Boshechi Sangero Ashi. Chaya Vegadori, Chaya Dosha Shuddhi, Chaya Guna Devo Dasi, Chaya Sata Sangha Deho He Amare, Boshechi Sangero Yashi. Ekaki Ama Nahi Parva, Hari Nama Sankirtane, Tumi Kripa Kori Shraddha Bindu Diya, Deho Krishna Namo Dhani. Ekaki Ama Nahi Parva, Hari Nama Sankirtane, Tumi Kripa Kori Shraddha Bindu Diya, Deho Krishna Namo Dhani. Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro, Tumar Shakti ache, Ami to Gangaro, Krishna Krishna boli, Dhai to pache pache. Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Gurudeva, Jayo Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jayo Gurudeva, Jayo Gurudeva, Jayo Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jayo Gurudeva, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhu Kripa Karo, More Doya Karo, Prabhu Kripa Karo, More Doya Karo, Prabhu Kripa Karo, More Doya Karo, Kripa Karo, More Doya सकल सुनियाची साधु मुके बोले सर्वजन page 51 Page 51 starts with Shuniyachi, S-U-N-I-Y-A-C-H-I. Shuniyachi Sadhu Mukhe. 51. Shuniyachi Sadhu Mukhe, Bole Sarvajan. Srirupa Kripayo Mile Jugala Charan Shuniyachi Sadhu Mukhe Bole Sarvajan Srirupa Kripayo Mile Mahaprabhu Sanatan Gaura Parivar Mahaprabhu Sanatan Gaura Parivar Sabe Shri Page 170. Hari Bole Moder Gaur Elo. Starting with Hari, H-A-R-I. Page 170. Cento settanta. এলো হারি বলে মোদের গৌর এলো হারি বলে মোদের গৌর এলো গৌরবাসীর আজ দুঃখ দূরে গেল গৌরবাসীর আজ দুঃখ দূরে গেল ভক্তবৃন্দ সঙ্গে আসি হাত জগাইল ভক্তবৃন্দ সঙ্গে আসি হাত জগাইল হারি বলে মোদের গৌর এলো হারি বলে মোদের গৌর এলো নদিয়া গ্রামিতে গৌর এলো নামের হাতে নদিয়া গ্রামিতে গৌর এলো নামের হাতে গৌর এলো হাতে সঙ্গে নিতাই এলো হাতে গৌর এলো হাতে সঙ্গে নিতাই এলো হাতে হারি বলে মোদের গৌর এলো হারি বলে মোদের গৌর এলো নাচে মতো আর নিতাই বন্ধু মেরো মাঝে Pasya Shachi Sutta Anupama Rupam. Pasya P. Oh, wait a second. Yes. Page 338. 338. Trecento. Pasya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam. 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 Kalitamrita rasa nirupam akrupam. Kalitamrita rasa nirupam akrupam. Pasya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam. Pasya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam. Krishna Raga Krita Manasatapam. Krishna Raga Krita Manasatapam. Lila Prakatito Rudra Pratapo. Lila Prakatito Rudra Pratapo. Pasya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam. Pasya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam. Prapanita Purushottama Suvisharam. Prapanita Purushottama Suvisharam. Prapanita Purushottama Suvisharam. Prapanita Purushottama Suvisharam. Kamalakara Kamalanchitapadam. Kamalakara Kamalanchitapadam. Pasya Shachi Sutam
sutam anupam anupam kalitamrita rasa nirupam apupam kalitamrita rasa nirupam apupam asya chachi sutam marupam marupam 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 Sachinandana Jai Gaura Hari Sachinandana Jai Gaura Hari Sachinandana Jai Gaura Hari Sachinandana Jai Gaura Hari Gaura He 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 Shri Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai.
Make sure you spell it. They couldn't find it.
P-A-S-Y-A? Oh, I thought I did before.
Sorry.
Hari He Doyal Mor Jai Radhanath. Page 145, starting with Hari, H-A-R-I. He, H-E. Dayal Mor, D-A-Y-A-L-A. Mor, M-O-R-A. Page 145. Hari He Doyalo Jai Radhanath Hari He Doyalo Jai Radhanath Bar bar Somehow, (154). I just flipped open to this page. I haven't sung this in a long, long time. Jai Jai Radhe Krishna Govinda. 154, starting with J-A-Y, J-A-Y. In the first line, I sing it a little different than what it is here, the way I learned it. So I just say Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe. Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Shri Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Shri Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Shri Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Jai Jai Radhe Govinda Shri Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Sundar Madana Mohana Vrindavana Chandra Jai Jai Shyam Madana Mohana Vrindavana Chandra Jai Jai Radha Ramana
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Shri Gurudeva Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Guru Ki Jai Prabhupada Shantanam Guru Ki Jai Prem Purushottam Shachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Vihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Ramana Ju Ki Jai Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hare Krishna. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namam Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Namine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times into the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astottara Shata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam unto the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astottara Shata Shri Srimad Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada, to all of our Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of those who are participating today, my Dandavat Pranam. This morning, when I awoke, I saw a very interesting post. And that post was someone speaking about trust, and how trust is given, but how it is gradually broken. If it is broken again and again and again, then one cannot easily give that trust. So that is the nature of relationships in this material world. As Srila Govinda Goswami Maharaj, he would say, disappointed, again and again and again. We have put our trust in temporary things and temporary bodies and temporary mindsets, temporary intelligences. We've put our trust in all of these different personalities and sources, and again, billions and trillions of times over, because they are material, we become disappointed. Our trust is shattered. But when I read that post, I was thinking, we've been in this material world since time without beginning. That is the meaning of nitya baddha, or eternally bound. Since time without beginning. Krishna bhuli se jeev anadir bahir mukh ateva maya tare deya sang saraduk. Krishna bhuli se jeev. Bhuli means being forgetful or neglectful or ignorant of Krishna. Krishna bhuli se jeev. The jiva has been anadi bahir mukh. Anadi means there is no telling when the origin of this is. Adi means original, but anadi means there's no source, no origin. Anadir bahir mukh. Since time without beginning, time immemorial, Bahirmukh means our face has been turned away from Krishna. Bahir means the other direction. Ateva, therefore, Maya tare, being completely captured by Maya, Deya sangsara duk, we are experiencing suffering in this material world since forever. But the most amazing thing is, and it's told in Bhagavad Gita, there's an example that Krishna gives of two birds sitting in a tree. And one is us, the conditioned soul, always trying to enjoy and be the center, tasting the fruits of this material world. But Krishna is waiting patiently, day after day, moment after moment, since time without beginning, for us to turn and look toward Him. If anyone has any reason not to trust anyone, if anyone has any reason to reject anyone, it's Him. We have come from Him, we are meant for Him. Our soul's nature and function is meant to love and serve Him. And since time without beginning, we have been turned the other way and neglecting to serve Him, to love Him. But yet He's waiting patiently, with eagerness, when that day will come, without forcing. How kind, how merciful, how compassionate is that? Our Guru, once Sudevi asked Gurudeva a question. We've heard that Srimati Radhika is one-pointed to Krishna. One-pointed, exclusive. Is Krishna also one-pointed to Srimati Radhika? Srila Gurudev said, oh, he wants to, but he cannot. Not even one jiva can he give up. And she just, from that moment, she was like, oh my God. Even though I'm so insignificant and infinitesimal among billions and trillions and quadrillions and unlimited jivas in all of creation, still, for Him, I count. I count. He cannot give me up, and He doesn't give us up. He rides with us, along with the soul, through every body and every experience we've ever gone through, simply waiting for us to turn toward Him. Even if we approach Him in the mood of an enemy, like Putana approached Him with the desire to kill Him, still because she came dressed like a mother and offered her breast to Him. Even though He took her life, still He gave her an eternal position as a mother in Goloka Vrindavan. How kind, how merciful, how wonderful is that? So there's that verse I told you in Bhagavad Gita. He's just waiting for us day after day to look in His direction. When I read that, I was thinking, there must be something in this. And Jaiva Dharma confirms. But it was like rising. There must be something in this that's also pleasing to Him. When the jiva, by its own accord, turns toward Him with the desire to love Him, that He's been waiting for us since forever, but He will not force us. He's given us our free will, our free choice, but He's still waiting desperately. Like that lover who is pining for its beloved, waiting, when will you notice me? Maybe even trying to get you to notice in so many ways, but not forcing. I know that you are meant for me and I am meant for you. You will never be satisfied by anything else, but I won't force you because it won't be real. When, oh when, Krishna's waiting for us. When, oh when will that day be mine? He's waiting. When will that day be mine? When you will turn toward me and offer me your love and affection. Yesterday I was quoting one quote from our Gurudev. He said, Krishna, we may cry for Krishna, but He is weeping millions of times more for us. Weeping millions of times more. More than that of millions of mothers of this world. How much love, how much affection, how much hope He has for us. And that He wants to give us the best thing, but He will not force us. So now we will continue with going beyond Vaikuntha. I believe yesterday we left off at that point. There was something which was stated there. at a certain point. So before going into this book, going Beyond Vaikuntha, this is the Bhav Anuvad, the Bhav-filled, devotional moods, filled commentary on Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita of Sanatan Goswami by our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaja. Elaborating on so many essential points on the path of bhakti, especially on the path of Rupanuga Bhakti, which is a very specific form of bhakti. I saw that Balabhadra Prabhu, he delineated that in the comments yesterday. So before entering into this book, I would like to offer the prayer to Sanatan Goswami by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairag Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnaya Apayana Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripam Budirya Paraduk Duki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. Praying in the dust of the lotus feet of Sanatan Goswamipada and our Srila Gurudev, the commentator, that may even a particle of the moods that were present in their hearts, which are manifest through these pages, also manifest within our hearts. So yesterday, we were reading about in Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga means rag, spontaneous, loving affection. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to awaken in all of the jivas of this world, that mood of spontaneous, loving affection for Krishna. Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharam. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preaching, what he wanted to awaken. By his own practice, he was showing this mood of Ragatmika Bhakti, and he wanted all in this world, Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharam. He wanted to preach to all in this world that you should also have a beautiful, spontaneous mood of love and devotion to Krishna, like what he himself was showing, because he is Krishna, but in the mood of Srimati Radhika, experiencing the highest form of loving attachment, Unta Ujvala Rasa. And for all of us, Svabhakti Shriyam, that you may have a semblance of that, like nectar sprinkles of that highest ras. So, Gurudev was saying that it is necessary to have this mood of mamata and tadiya, that Krishna is mine and I am his. So this is the meaning of relationship. Sambandha Gyan must be there. If one is only approaching Krishna, the Lord, out of either fear of going to hell, if I don't do my sadhana because I'll go to hell, or even doing it just because I'm supposed to do it because of the scriptures, declarations and instructions, or even for any other purpose, doing it out of fear or a feeling of force, or even out of a mood of awe and reverence, in only worshipping the Lord out of a mood of awe and reverence, this is not called Raganuga Bhakti. This is called Vaidhi Bhakti. And in Vaidhi Bhakti you have all of the stages also. What stages? Shraddha, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, and Prem. But that Prem will be toward Narayan in Vaikuntha. And the other kind, in the path of Raganuga Bhakti, which looks very similar to Vaidhi Bhakti because all of the practices are the same, but it is not defined. It's defined by the rules and regulations, but the mood in the heart is different. The mood in the heart is very different. It is more of a spontaneous attraction which is brought about by associating with Tishtan Braje Tat Anuragi Jananugami, by associating with those personalities whose hearts are already spontaneously attracted. And this will awaken our spontaneous attraction to Krishna in Vrindavan. So this would be Raganuga Bhakti. But all of the divine associates of Krishna in Vrindavan, they have transcendental attraction and attachment. They are known as Ragatmika. They are his eternal associates. And you can name any of them. They have this spontaneous prem, divine love and affection for Krishna in Vrindavan. So all Brajavasis, all of Krishna's eternal associates are known as Ragatmik. And if you follow any one of them, then you will be known as Raganuga. But our path is a very specific form of Rag Anuga. It's not just any Rag Anuga. It is known as Rupa Anuga Bhakti. Shri Rupa Anuga Bhakti Da, Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute. Shri Rupa Anuga Bhakti. That means following in the wake, in the moods of Srila Rupa Goswami, as he is in sadhak form, what kind of bhajan he was doing in remembrance of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, and how he is internally in his eternal position in Radha Krishna Lila as Sri Rupa Manjari. Seva sadhaka rupena, in a sadhak form following his sadhana externally, and internally siddha rupena chatrahi, how he is serving Radha and Krishna in his siddha form in eternal relationship with Shri Radha and Krishna. That is our goal, our hope, our aspiration, the goal of our mantras, the goal of our japa, the goal of our bhajan, the goal of our puja, the goal of our vrats, the goal of our tapa, our austerities, the goal of all of our practices in bhakti. Ultimately, for those who claim to be on this path, following in the guidance, in the line of Rupa Goswami, who are following in the path of our Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. This means coming in the line of Rupa Goswami. What is our goal, our hope, and our aspiration? Shri Rupa Manjari Pada Sehimor Sampara, Sehimor Bhajan Pujan, Sehimor Pranadana, Sehimor Abharana, Sehimor Jivanera Jivan. The life of my life. Sehimor Jivanera. Our Gaudiya Guru Varga are giving us. Because to be under the guidance of Sri Rupa is our goal, our hope and aspiration. This is the meaning of Gopi Bhartu Patakamalayar Das Das Anudas. Ultimately. 1 second. Gopi Bhartu. Who is that Gopi? Srimati Radhika. Her beloved, Krishna. Gopi Bhartu Patakamalayar. Das Das Anudas. So what is our principle? The same as what Raghunath Das Goswami took. He's following in the very specific path. So this is, who is serving Srimati Radhika? That is Lalita Sakhi. Who is serving Sri Lalita Sakhi? That is Sri Rupa. And we're coming under the guidance in that way. That is Unata Ujvala Rasam Sva Bhakti Shriyam. Our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj wanted us to understand that there is a speciality within Raganuga Bhakti, which is known as Rupanuga. All Rupanugas are Raganugas, but not all Raganugas are Rupanugas. Because all Raganugas may be following any different associate of the Lord in Vrindavan, but all Rupanugas' main focus is Sri Rupa. So there's a very specific, not everyone is following Sri Rupa, but those coming in the line of Rupa Goswami, who established within this world the inner heart's desire of Mahaprabhu. Those who are coming in the line of Rupa Goswami, that is the goal of our practice. E nivedanadara sakhiranagata karo, goro seva adhikar diye, goro nija dasi. We say to Tulsi Devi every day. Please, my prayer, my ardent prayer, E nivedanadara sakhira anugata koro. Sakhira anugat means to come under the guidance of the gopis. Seva adhikara diye. Please give me the qualification or the privilege for seva, devotional service. Goro nija dasi. Make me your own maidservant. So this is our path. Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhya yayali bhir yukti rapekshaniya tatrati dakshat atiballabhasya. What is our Gurudev doing? Is expert in assisting the gopis to serve Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj didn't want us to become confused by all of the different processes which are given. Because there's so many different processes. But he wanted us to understand what is the definition of Rupanuga. Really, what is the meaning of Rupanuga? Who is Rupa Goswami? What does Rupa Goswami do here? What is Rupa Goswami doing there? And what is our hope, our aspiration, our path? Raghunath Das Goswami, who is also a follower of Rupa Goswami, is praying to Srimati Radhika. Sakyayate nama namostu namostu nityam dasyayate mama rasostu rasostu satyam. Again and again I offer pranam to the position of being one of your sakhis, one of the gopis who are like yourself. I'm offering pranam to that position. And then our Gurudev would say, but I do not want any lesser thing, meaning I don't want to meet with Krishna myself. Dasyayate mama rasostu rasostu satyam. The only taste I have, the only rasa, the only nectar I experience is of being your servant. Dasyayate. So the goal of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, especially Rupa Anuga, is Radha Dasyam. And if we search deeply through the works of all of our Guru Varga, those disciples of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, they all have acknowledged this point. And our Srila Prabhupada also acknowledged it and told it in a slightly secretive way, but also revealed it. In the understanding, and if you know the shlokas, you can see what he's referring to. What is pure bhakti? Pure bhakti is to give Krishna what is the most pleasing and beneficial to himself. That is pure bhakti. What is for his happiness, his pleasure, and his benefit. So then Srila Prabhupada says, so what does Krishna like the most? Radharani. He said, so our mood is how to push Radharani to Krishna. This is how Srila Prabhupada presented it. And all of our Guru Varga have presented it. So can you tell me the question?
Bhagavatamrita was asking, do Vaikuntha devotees have raga for Narayan?
Do Vaikuntha Vasis have raga for... Yes. They have rag for Narayan. They have deep attachment. Even there's prem there. Vaikuntha prem. Also Hanuman is a premi bhakta. He has prem for Hanuman in Dasyaras. They have prem for Narayan in Shantaras. It's Shanta prem. So there is rag there, but it is not the same as Braj rag. Why? Because there's a mood of Aishwarya. A mood of understanding the greatness and the opulence, the supremacy of God, where you cannot really have this mood in your heart. All I know is that I am His and He is mine. Amito tomar, tumito amar. You cannot have this fully because there's a distinct awareness of the awesomeness of God. And our Gurudev would give the example of Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and Mother Yashoda on the battlefield of Vatsalya Prem in Vrindavan. Now, when Arjuna witnessed Krishna's universal form, previously Arjuna had such an affectionate friendship-like relationship with Krishna, where they would embrace each other, where they would share off the same plate. Sometimes they would take naps in the same bed. They had so much friendship, love, and affection for each other. But when Krishna showed him his universal form, Arjuna was apologizing. Oh my God, literally, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the way I previously treated you. I have made so much offense by calling you friend, by sharing off your plate, by embracing you like this. He was like, Prasida Devesha Jagannivasa, you are the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord of everything. Please forgive me for all of my aparat. Mother Yashoda also saw Krishna's universal form when the cowherd boy said to her, he's eating dirt. She said, what? Yes, we saw him eating dirt. She said, come here, open your mouth. So he opened his mouth and she looked inside, and what did she see? The entire cosmic manifestation. And she shook her head, what am I seeing in my son? And then she saw our universe. Then she saw the earth planet. Then she saw Vrindavan. Then she saw herself looking into his mouth. And she was completely shocked. What am I seeing? What am I seeing? She didn't think, oh my God, my son is God. What did she think? Perhaps some ghostly influence is affecting him. I should protect him from the ghostly influence. So she gave him a bath in cow dung and cow urine and all sorts of special substances. She put thick black kajal on his eyes, a big black dot on his cheek, black strings around his waist and on his arms to protect him from any evil influence. She wasn't overcome by this idea that he is God. She was thinking maybe some demon or some ghost has attacked my son or me and created this illusion. So she wasn't overcome by that. Even sometimes the Brajabasis, they have this idea. We saw Krishna kill Putana when he was 3 days old. Then he killed Trinavarta, Shakatasura, all these demons. And then he lifted Govardhan Hill. Oh, Nanda Baba, we think perhaps you should not chastise your son so much. He seems to have all of the symptoms of being God. Perhaps it's not right to chastise him. Nanda Baba was listening. And then he was just like, from my perspective, you are all a bunch of old men. You don't even have, you can't even understand anything. Have you seen how he is? He pinches babies and makes them cry when he doesn't get what he wants. He urinates on the floor. He'll dance for makhan and mishri and for laddus. Really? You think this is God? He can't even roll over on his own when he's a baby. How is he God? Mother Yashoda just puts him down. And Nanda Baba starts laughing. You're all a bunch of senile old people. Like that. He makes fun of them. And then immediately they're like, yeah, you're right. And they all start laughing. And Nanda Baba's like, you can do whatever you want. But as far as I'm concerned, he's my son. And if I don't teach him properly, what will become of him? He'll become a big dacoit and a gunda. And he'll create problems in society. My duty and my service and my function as his father is to teach him properly. So you can believe whatever you want, but I see him as my son. And then immediately, the waves of Vatsalya Prem completely cover all of them again, and they just see, oh, he's this naughty, cheeky little boy. And they love him. And one time Krishna also showed his four-armed form. He manifested a four-armed form when he left the rasa dance at Govardhan, or Chandra Sarovar. He manifested a four-armed form and he left that rasa dance. All these gopis came walking by. They saw him and they thought, oh, this looks like Krishna. Oh, but he's got 4 arms. He can't be Krishna. Immediately they offered pranam. Oh, Narayan, have you seen our Krishna? Where is Krishna? Please point us in the direction. And they continued on their way. And he was trying to maintain this four-armed form, but even from a distance, just by the breeze which blew past the cloth of Srimati Radhika, it came into the nostrils of Krishna, and at that moment he felt, now my life is successful. He couldn't even remember if he had an extra 2 arms or not. Immediately, 2 arms went back inside, and he was standing there in his most beautiful pose, Shyamam Tribhangaladam Yatak Prakasham, holding his flute to his lips. And that time Srimati Radhika manifested. She came before him. So he can't even hold his opulence in Vrindavan because the prem of the Brajabasis is so great. It is said that death itself is afraid of Krishna. Namam Ishvaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Bhiyo Dukaladhavamanam Paramrishtam Atyantato Drutya Gopya Gurudanta Muhur Netra Yugmam Brijantam Karambhoja Yugmena Shatanka Netram Muhushva Shakampa Trirekam Kakanta Stita Graivam Damodaram Bhakti Badham. How is Krishna? When Mother Yashoda caught him stealing butter and feeding it to the monkeys and the crows, he jumped and he ran. She had a stick in her hand. And she was quite hefty, a little weighty, and middle-aged. And she ran after him. He was thinking, oh, ladies don't run in the streets. Because in those days, ladies didn't do that. But he didn't know that that day was a special festival. And so everyone was inside preparing for the festival. And she knew that. So he ran out into the street to escape her, and she ran behind him with her stick. And he was making a zigzag pattern trying to get away. But she ran after him with greater speed. Why? Because her Vatsalya Prem, her motherly affection toward him, is greater than his godhood. Is that amazing? He somehow consents to be controlled by love. His Yogamaya potency has been pre-programmed to allow him to be controlled by pure love. So because of her motherly affection, she ran after him and caught him and held her stick up. And that personality who was afraid of, who death itself is afraid of, was afraid of his mother, began weeping and crying and rubbing his eyes with his two lotus hands, and his kajal was smearing. It is said that Ganga and Jamuna were flowing from both sides, and he was holding his hand up saying, "No, mother, don't hit me, don't hit me." And she felt really bad that he was feeling scared of her, so she put her stick down. This is Vrindavan. So in the first time, our Srila Prabhupada made a commentary on Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. He said the Brajavasis, they don't know that Krishna is God. They may have heard something. You know, Gargacharya said in his chart, sometimes Narayan's potency may act through him. He said so maybe some demigod or some special power might manifest through him from time to time. They don't know that he is God. All they know is that they love him. This is the speciality of Vrindavan. And that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established, right? Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tadham Vrindavanam Ramyaka Chidupasana Brajavadu Vargena Yakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartom Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatradaro Naparaha. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur composed this beautiful verse. And the last line says, this is the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and there is nothing beyond it. What is that? The topmost worshipful form of Krishna is Vrindavan's Krishna. Especially Radhika's Krishna. And where is the topmost place? Vrindavan. And what is the topmost method of worship? The method of the gopis' worship of Krishna. Vrajavadu Vargena Yakalpita. So this is the opinion of Mahaprabhu and there is nothing beyond that. We'll hear more about it tomorrow because tomorrow is the disappearance festival of Sri Ramananda Rai. So now we will get back to this Sri going beyond Vaikuntha. But this is the speciality or the difference between Vaikuntha Prem and Braja Prem. Vaikuntha Prem is saturated with awe and reverence, an opulence mood. Our Gurudeva explained that in every particle of dust of Vrindavan there is more Aishvarya, more opulence than millions of Vaikuntha planets combined. In each particle of dust of Vrindavan. But also there's that description that the Prem is so great here. Premamrita Plavanat. An overwhelming deluge of Prem. It's like a giant ocean. An unlimited ocean. And there may be so many mountains in that ocean, but they're completely submerged by that unlimited ocean. So it is compared, all of that Aishwarya, opulence, is compared to one blade of grass, one straw, and 40 gallons of boiling milk. That boiling milk is compared to the love, the prem of the Brajavasis for Krishna. And that one straw is compared to more than millions and millions of Vaikuntha planets worth of Aishvarya or opulence mood. So when you're boiling the milk, sometimes that straw is underneath and every once in a while it peeks its head out at the top and says, "Hey, look, here I am." And then immediately it dives back in and is completely submerged. This is the nature of the prem of the Brajavasis, of Vrindavan for Krishna, by which Krishna himself is completely subjugated and controlled. Vrindavan is the place where Krishna forgets I am God and plays with his eternal associates, just like a normal person of this world. That's why it is called human-like pastimes. It is the realm of sweetness. It is madhurya mayi dham. Everything is saturated by sweetness. Adharam madhuram, vadanam madhuram, nayanam madhuram, hasitam madhuram, hridayam madhuram, gamanam madhuram, madhuradipater akilam madhuram. Everything is sweet, sweet and sweet, through and through. This is the speciality of Vrindavan. The mood is different because there's no concept. Or even if the concept comes, it does not change the sthayi bhav, or the intrinsic fixed eternal mood of the associates of Krishna in Vrindavan. Even if they see him manifest any opulence mood like lifting Govardhan. They're thinking, if gopis are looking at Giriraj, if you create any difficulty for Krishna, we will burn you with our eyes. The cowherd boys are all holding up Giriraj with their sticks, thinking we are assisting. And they're just gazing upon Krishna's beauty for 7 days and 7 nights. They don't even have time to think about how he's doing this. They're just thinking, my Krishna, how beautiful. It's the first time. It's an emergency situation. They're all situated underneath Giriraj. In an emergency situation. It's the first time that all of the gopis, and really all of the Brajavasis, had unimpeded darshan of Krishna. And that Krishna had unimpeded darshan of whoever he wanted to look at. Generally, in Vedic society, men and women, boys and girls, there's some segregation. But in an emergency situation, just like if there's an earthquake or a hurricane, tornado or flood, the whole village goes together in the town hall. And at that time, everyone is able to mix much more freely. So at that time, they were able to be in that situation. And they were able to have unimpeded darshan of Sakshat Manmat, that person whom millions of cupids would faint just upon trying to imagine the beauty of. When we were in South Africa with Srila Gurudev told 2 shlokas. At that time he wasn't feeling so well, but somehow he was inspired and he was remembering these 2 verses. Barhapidam natavaravhu karnayo karnikaram and Kasturi tilakam lalata patale bakshastale koshtubham. He quoted these verses and then he said to all of us, you have not seen how beautiful Krishna is. He said if you could condense all of the beauty in the entire universe into one point, that would not equal even one particle of dust on the feet of Krishna. How beautiful is Krishna? How beautiful is Krishna? And everyone in the crowd was just like, and they just started clapping. And we had undergone so much difficulty there trying to serve Gurudev, but there was a lot of difficulty. And from that one moment, we felt that everything was completely more than worth it, what Gurudev gave at that time. That moment, he was looking out, you have not seen how beautiful is Krishna. All of those Brajavasis under Giriraj at that time had unimpeded darshan of Krishna for 7 days and 7 nights, drinking him with their eyes, with every sense. When our Gurudev would tell us at Harikatha time, he would say, don't do anything else. Give me all of your senses completely and take the nectar that I'm going to give you. Give me all of it. So in that case, like we hear from Rupa Goswami, he's telling Tunde Tandavanira Timbutonate Tundavali Labdhaye Karna Kroda Kadamani Gadayate Karnabure Vyasvirham Cheta Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritim No Jane Janitakya Bir Amritai Krishneti Varnadvayi. How much nectar? It's just in the 2 syllables, Krishna. But here you have Krishna, his name, his form, his qualities, pastimes, everything. Darshan is there. Same in the name of Krishna. It's not enough. 2 ears, 2 eyes. This here, 1 mouth, it's not enough. You require millions and millions. So just drinking and drinking and drinking and never satiated. In one sense, yes, full satisfaction comes, but I need more. Because he is the source of all beauty, the source of all ananda, and it is never ending and ever fresh. So constant drinking, but needing to drink more and more and more. 7 days and 7 nights of the most wonderful experience of Krishna. And at that time, no one's thinking he's God. They're just falling more deeply in love with Krishna. So they don't know what he's God. He may be whatever he is. All they know is that they love him and that he loves them. So yesterday, we ended with this beautiful kirtan. Gurudev called it a mantra that Gopkumar's Guru Jayanta gave to him. Shri Krishna Gopal Hare Mukunda Govinda He Nanda Kishora Krishna Ha Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida Shri Vallavi Jivana Radhikesha. That is quoted in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita 247. So Gopkumar's Guru gave this to him. In this mantra, for Gopkumar, the emphasis was on Ha Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida, O son of Yashoda, which for him is the primary name of Krishna, and the others being secondary. And this is a very important statement. Srila Gurudev here is giving an indication to us that in this kirtan there are so many names. Shri Krishna, Gopal, Hare, Mukunda, Govinda, He Nanda Kishore Krishna, Ha Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida, Shri Balavi Jivana Radhikesha. So here it says Shri Balavi Jivan Radhikesha. Radharani's name is in there. Balavi Jivan, the life and soul of Srimati Radhika. But yet, Gurudev is saying that for him, because, why? He is a cowherd boy, the emphasis is not on that name, but the emphasis is on Ha Shri Yashoda Tanaya, the dearmost son of Yashoda. That is the primary name. So what is it for us, practically? In our mantras also, in Gopal mantra that Sri Guru gives us, or any of our mantras, but we should try to focus on that, the specific names which are applying to our particular desired goal. What will be primary for us? Which names will be primary for us? In this bhajan, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Giri Varadhari, Yashodanandana, Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamunatira Vanachari. So in there you see that there's Madhurya Ras and Vatsalya Ras. Also, it depends on your perspective. You can also see that it is all Madhurya Ras, because they're very high bhajan composed by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Jai Radha Madhava. This is Radha Madhav, Kunja Bihari, who is situated within the knee kunjas of Vrindavan, Gopi Janna Vallabha, who is near and dear to the gopis of Vrindavan. And in this case, Srila Prabhupada said, our Krishna consciousness movement is how to become one of the Gopi Jan. I'm old enough, I'm admitting this now, to remember that way back in the day, all of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada were aware of that. It was common knowledge at that time. Believe it or not. Subsequent to that, the ideas changed a bit. But back in the day, when I was little, everyone knew that our goal was to become a Gopi of Vrindavan. And you can see it in the old black and white videos from 26 2nd Avenue, when Gargamuni was literally a new recruit, maybe 1 week or less. Kirtanananda peeks his head around the corner as Gargamuni is speaking to the reporter, and Kirtanananda says, actually, we all want to be gopis. Where did he get that idea from? Only Srila Prabhupada, who had just come from India, from Vrindavan. So that idea he was presenting at the time, and then gradually he had to adjust according to time, place, and circumstance. But back in those days, even after I was born, which was 1974, by the time I was old enough to catch it, which would have been about 3 years old, which is the year 1977, the year Prabhupada left, I knew early on that that was the goal of the Krishna consciousness movement. Subsequent to that, then the ideas changed. But that was what Prabhupada was preaching early on. You can ask any of his early disciples. They will confirm that for you. So, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, I was telling you about this. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari. This is also Giri Varadhari. All Brajabasis saw Krishna here. But why did Krishna manifest this pastime of lifting Govardhan? Because he wanted also to have unimpeded darshan of Srimati Radhika. And someone caught him. Everyone else was looking at him. But someone caught Krishna looking at someone else. Who was that? Baladev. You know how he caught him? He noticed Krishna was trembling a little bit. And he was thinking, how is it possible? Because Baladev knows that Krishna is God. Baladev is also not different from him. He's also God. Supreme personality of servitor Godhead. The embodiment of that. But he's also not different from Krishna. And he was saying, how is it possible that Krishna is shaking while lifting Govardhan? This shouldn't happen. And he noticed Krishna, and then as he would do, he followed Krishna's eyes. And he saw who Krishna was looking at. And he looked back at Krishna, and Krishna noticed, Baladev saw me looking. In that moment, Krishna felt very shy, and it is said he became bashful and began to blush. Can you imagine how sweet and beautiful Krishna is at that time? When he's caught by his older brother like this, he became bashful. But this was what he wanted. He wanted also unimpeded darshan of Srimati Radhika and her manifestations, the gopis. So Krishna manifested. This is also Giri Varadhari. Why he's lifting Govardhan. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. He is the dearmost of those in Vrindavan. And Yashodanandana. Now Yashodanandana can mean he's the son of Mother Yashoda. But also when the gopis look at Krishna, they also use this name Yashodanandan. Why? No, you can say yes, he's the son of Mother Yashoda, but they say, hey, Yashodanandan. To Krishna this means, if I'm not careful, they're going to tell my mother and I'm going to get in trouble. So the gopis also use it. So it depends on your mood. What is your intrinsic mood of loving service to Krishna? Here Gurudev is saying, because Gopkumar is a cowherd boy, then what is primary for him? The mukhya, or the primary names of Krishna, will be the ones which pertain to his eternal relationship with Krishna. When Gurudev told Janaki and Mukesh from Boise, Idaho, that he confirmed that their intrinsic eternal relationship with the Lord is with Ram in Ayodhya. And so he instructed them that when they are chanting Mahamantra, they should apply that Mahamantra to Ram. So instead of thinking Radha Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radhe Radhe, and Hare Ram means Radha Rama iti Ram. For those who are one pointed to Radha Krishna, this is Radha Raman. Hare Radha Raman. For those who are one pointed, you can read from Srila Prabhupada. He tells what is it? Ramanete Radha Rama iti Ram. And he gives this. He said that those who are one pointed to Krishna in Vrindavan, they see this Hare Ram as Radha Raman. It's not all of the different forms, but they focus on one particular Ishtadev. So for them, they would see Hare Krishna as Sitaram, Hare Ram as Sitaram. And Gurudev gave that also. When you are chanting Mahamantra, you focus on Sitaram and their glories. And for us, it was focusing on Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan and their glories. So it's individual and specific for the individual. We approach our Ishtadev and the names of the Lord which will have prominence in our lives. It's not that the other names are not there or even prominent, but the most prominent will be the ones relating to our particular, intrinsic, inherent relationship with our particular Ishtadev. In this case, his particular Ishtadev is Krishna. Gopal Krishna, or cowherd boy Krishna. This means the one who is relating in the form of cowherd boy friend. This is the form of his eternal relationship with the Lord. Therefore, Gurudev is saying that focus is being given on Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasiddha, O son of Yashoda, which for him is the primary name of Krishna, others being secondary, because this pertains specifically to the mood of a cowherd boy. The cowherd boys go to wake up Krishna in the morning. They also go jump in his bed and they say, okay, let's get up, let's go play. They have fun with Krishna, they wrestle with Krishna, and they also call him Yashodanandan. But they're saying, oh, Yashodanandan, chalo, let's go have fun, let's play. So, Ha Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida. This is primary for him. Why? Because he is Gopakumar. Yashoda Tanai is primary because he, Yashoda Tanai, the dearest of Yashoda, he is Gopakumar's dear friend. While the remaining names are descriptions. Shri Krishna, Gopal, Hari, Mukunda, Govinda, Nanda Kishore, Shri Baladi Jivan and Radhikesha. So now Gurudev is going to explain. If someone's sentiment is in Madhurya Ras, Madhurya means in the mood of gopis or manjaris, then Radhikesha, the Lord of Radha, may be the primary name, and the rest will be secondary. How refined is this path? Srila Gurudev was really trying to impress upon us, for the first 5 years of his world preaching, trying to impress upon us the necessity for being one-pointed to a particular goal, not being sidetracked and having our feet in so many boats. Have you ever had your feet in more than one boat at a time? It doesn't usually work out so well. The boats go and you end up falling in the water. If you are not one-pointed, then you will never attain any destination. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. But one who is one-pointed can easily attain their destination. And the example we've given previously was like Arjuna. When Dronacharya asked him, what do you see? I only see the eye of the bird. Do you see anything else? No. Do you see the tree? What? Do you see the sun, the sky, the leaves of the tree? Do you see anything? No. What do you see? Only the eye of the bird. You may release your arrow. That is one-pointed. One-pointed exclusive focus. Then we can attain our destination easily. Dronacharya would not let the others release their arrows until they had that kind of exclusive, ekantik, ananya, one-pointed focus. So in this case, for those in Madhurya Ras, Radhikesha may be the primary name and the rest will be secondary. According to the sentiment in one's heart, one of these names will be selected as the primary name. How do I know what sentiment is in my heart? All I know is I'm attracted to material things of this world. I have no taste in the names of Krishna. I can pretend that I do, but look at Mahaprabhu. He's saying, Nam Namakari Bahudani Jasarva Shaktis, Durdaivam Idrishamihaja. I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction to these names. And yet, so many people, they're like, oh my God, the first time I chanted, it was so nectar. I tasted the holy name. I was feeling ecstasy and bliss and bhav, and tears are flowing from my eyes, and I was shaking on the ground. Okay, so prove that this is actually bhav. How? Do you subsequently go back into your material engagements and entanglements? Do you become more absorbed in material life? Afterward? Then you should know that it is not actually real or true. It is some kind of false enthusiasm. Similar to taking intoxication, one can feel a euphoric effect. You can also derive a euphoric effect from chanting mantras and from doing pranayam, from sitting in meditation or oming for a long time. You can start feeling that wow, 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 the buzzing and each particle of your being vibrating and becoming one with the environment and all of that kind of stuff. It is easy to do that. Prem, even Shraddha, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, all of this, not so cheap. Especially on the path of Raga and Nuga Sadhana. We might develop greed, yes, by the association of those who are truly tasting. Then we want to also taste what they're tasting. But to actually experience the transcendental thing for real, Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj says, if you've actually had darshan of Sri Krishna or his transcendental associates, then you would never have attraction for anything of this material world again. And Sri Yamunacharya, the guru of Ramanujacharya, he says, after having tasted the nectar of bhakti ras, when the thought or the remembrance of sensual enjoyment may come up, immediately my lips curl with distaste and I spit at that thought. Why? Because now I'm tasting nectar at every step. Purna amrita ashvadanam. If even that memory comes, it's like vomit. I was tasting that. It becomes detestful. I don't want to even think of that thing. I'm tasting nectar at every step. So the proof of really tasting real nectar, not just the false enthusiasm, utsahamayi, which is described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and other acharyas, not the false enthusiasm. Oh my God, I'm tasting, I'm so... Once upon a time, I'll tell you a story. So I became very, very sick on Brajmandal Parikrama. Very sick. I thought, I've never felt like this before. I don't know if I'm going to live through this. So I got on one of those flatbed rickshaws with all the strength I had and told them to take me to the hospital in Govardhan. The hospital in Govardhan was not the cleanest place. And when I arrived inside, I was like, just kind of like slumped in a chair on the corner. And they were like, okay, well you can come, but you're going to have to check yourself in and you're going to have to stay a minimum of 5 days and it's going to be a minimum of 5,000 rupees. And I was just like, oh my God, these guys are just trying to rip me off because I'm foreign. And I didn't even trust it because it was so messed up. So I went to a pharmacy, and in India, in a lot of places, you can just go to any pharmacy, and the pharmacist knows more than a lot of the doctors. They're used to seeing thousands of people come in with similar conditions, and they know how to prescribe. So the pharmacist just looked at me, and I said, this is my symptom, I have this, I have no appetite, I feel nauseous, I'm so weak, I'm feeling so bad, I feel like I might die. The pharmacist gave me a couple tablets, and said, just take these, you'll be okay. So I took the tablets, I went home, and I started feeling better pretty quickly. And then something started happening to me from these medicines. I started feeling like I have no material attachment. I started feeling, I didn't realize it was from the medicine. I was thinking, I'm in Vrindavan, I'm on parikrama, I'm getting the result of being in Vrindavan. I'm getting the results of being on parikrama. I am coming to the point of Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Nashochati Nakangshati, Samak Sarveshu Bhuteshu, Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. I'm seeing everything with equal vision. I am not attached or disturbed on any, and I was feeling really very strongly that I like this about myself, to the point of being very dismissive to my wife and to others. And she was like, you don't care that your behavior is hurting me? And I'm like, no, of course not. I'm beyond that. And she was being very affected by it, but I didn't care that she was being affected. And I remember I ran like a quarter mile on sharp stones and I didn't feel any pain, and some straw stabbed through my toe and blood was squirting out, and I was like looking at it going, whoa, even I'm beyond the bodily conception. And I picked up Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita or the Shlok book or something, and I opened it and I was like, my God, I can memorize all of these in one day. And then I remember going to a kirtan and going to Harikatha and feeling the same way. I was indifferent to that as well. And somehow my intelligence was able to override what I was feeling at the moment. I was like, wait a second. I'm not feeling anything in kirtan, anything in Harikatha, anything in association with devotees. I understood that I was coming beyond the material world, but suddenly I'm also beyond the spiritual world. Uh-oh, there's a problem here. So my intelligence told me something is wrong. And so I was trying to find anything that could make me feel. There was beautiful candlelight bhajans, all of these candles and lamps offered at Giriraj on Diwali, and we would go there and sit there and do kirtan, and beautiful, sweet mood, all of the Vaishnavas were chanting,
And I would just sit there hoping to feel something. And my heart was hard. And then I realized something is wrong. And after some time, after I weaned myself off this medicine, when I started feeling better, then I realized, oh, you mean all of that euphoria was a drug-induced state? I'm one of those rare Gurukulis who never had drugs before, so I was like, ugh, I had no idea what had happened to me. And then I started, oh, I'm so sorry, Sudevi, for the way I was treating you. But this is the point. One can attain a euphoric-like state and think that I am above and beyond. But what is the proof that I am not? That I still have taste for the material world. I still have taste for mundane things. I still have attraction to fulfilling my lower sensual nature, my lower sensual desires. Right? Jifva Begam, Udara Begam, and Upasta Begam. The desire to want to taste things for my pleasure. The desire to want to fill my belly. The desire to satisfy my sensual or sexual urges. This is proof of one's bondage in the material world. It's not... These days people think that you can be both at the same time. And all of our Guru Varga, they tell us that is illusion. You cannot be both. You cannot be Ruchi for Radha and Krishna and Ruchi for satisfying your sexual urges simultaneously. It is just not the reality. It's not the reality. And anyone who claims so, this is the simple definition of Prakrita Sahajya that all of our Guru Varga have warned us about. But these days, people try to make it all one and like this. We should be very careful to understand that if someone is in a position of authority, and it's 10 times in the last 2 months I've gotten reports from about so many different persons in positions of authority who are basically not representing that position that they're in by falling prey to the lower urges. Falling prey to the lower urges. This is not a symptom of one who has true taste in Krishna Nam, in Krishna Seva. This is not symptomatic of that. This is symptomatic of still being attracted and attached to this material world. And our Gurudev says of those personalities, he was especially saying on Prahlad Maharaj is telling that one should begin from now, the path of bhakti. And our Gurudev was saying, those persons who are becoming in their older age, now they're coming 70, 75, 80 years old, and again they're getting married 3 and 4 and 5 and 10 and 20 times. They're like hogs and dogs. I don't even have words for that. This is what our Gurudev's position was. You know, this mood I cannot control, and I'm becoming old, and then I want to marry my disciple, or my great-great-granddaughter in this case. Gurudev said this is the same, that person who you've inspired in bhakti, now you want to marry them. They're looking at you like you are their guru, and then you marry them. Gurudev said, I don't even have words for this. According to Shastra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uses the word Vantasi, which I believe is the source of the word fantasy. Vantasi literally means one who has rejected their attachment to the material world, like vomit. You leave it and you walk away, but then again you go back to that same thing which you've already rejected, that same vomit, and you're eating that again. Yes, that is the definition of Vantasi. Those who have given that up and taken to the path of bhakti, and then again going back into that. That is not the definition of someone who is 100% dedicated and devoted to Krishna, for whom the material world holds no charm whatsoever, or who is qualified to be in the position of Sri Guru. So, because I've had a few different conversations on this topic in the last few days, I felt impelled, and regarding different personalities, I felt impelled to share this, so we don't become confused by persons saying, no, 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 it's all divine and transcendental. It's not. It's nonsense. Don't be fooled that someone is doing all sorts of nonsense activities and you should still see them in the position of Sri Guru. Don't be fooled by that. We're not on that level where we're able to reconcile those things. We can pretend to reconcile it, but we should understand that it's not such a cheap thing. Prem, Sri Guru is serving Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. How do you come out of that and start falling for your disciples and getting married to your... No, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. You can read everywhere in all of our shastras, this is not the qualification for Guru. So let me get back to the important part here.
Wait a minute, question.
Okay?
And can alone, Ichaya Abbas, yes?
Can you read it again?
And A-L-A-O, Ichaya.
A-L
A-O.
A-O. Alo.
Yeah.
E.
Chaya.
Chaya.
Abbas, yes? As long as it's not Prati Bimba,
I think maybe the word wasn't spelled right, so I'm a little confused. Let me just find it for you, sorry. I don't want to end on that subject, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. These subjects are important to discuss and to consider, but the most important thing is to always remember Krishna and never forget him. So if we end up talking about something, like I just did, which is the other aspect, we should understand what is favorable and what is unfavorable. There's anukulyasya sankalpa and pratikulyasya varjanam. But our Gurudev would always say that all is well that ends sweetly. We should always end with remembering the sweet pastimes of Krishna, bathing our minds in the pastimes of Krishna. And I know I already spoke about Krishna previously, but I also need to end with Krishna. So let me see the comments here. Sorry, excuse me. You can read everywhere in all... Oh, Hare Krishna, it's coming through. Can allow. Ichaya bhav abhas, yes? What is alao?
I didn't hear it sitting under. As long as it's not...
What is A-L-A-O? Maybe you can define that. So until you define that, I will continue reading here. So if someone's sentiment is in Madhurya Ras, then Radhikesha may be the primary name and the rest will be secondary. So we will focus on the primary names which relate to the nature of our soul. How do we know the nature of our soul? That is diagnosed by Sri Guru, who is Tattvadarshi. Because they know and see the truth. They know Krishna, they know themselves, they know their relationship with Krishna. They have access to all information. Whatever they want to know, they can know. Radhe Radhe. Whatever they want to know, they can know. They're only absorbed in thinking about Krishna. But they can also know, like Gurudev looked at one astrologer and he said, on your forehead I can see 10,000 lifetimes. When I was massaging Gurudev once, he looked at me and he said, your wife is calling? He knew what I was thinking. But most of the time, we find that they're only absorbing their minds in Krishna. However, their function as Guru is to detect, to diagnose the nature of our soul in relationship with Krishna and direct us accordingly to our particular goal and give us the sadhana, the practice by which we can awaken in the most practical, most straightforward, most clear, focused way that we can awaken our eternal relationship with Krishna in our particular eternal rasa. So according to the sentiment in one's heart, one of these names will be selected as the primary name. Shri Yashoda Tanaya can be the primary name for both Sakya Ras and Vatsalya Ras, the parental mellow, depending on your ras. You might look at that name, but you will see it according to your ras. So Vatsalya or Madhurya, Sakya or Vatsalya. In Madhurya Ras, two names are primary. Shri Ballavi Jivan, he who is the very life of the gopis. and Radhikesha. Within the name Sri Balavi Jivan, a bhav is hidden. A very important, deep bhav. Okay, when Gurudev says stuff like that, that means listen carefully. A very important, deep bhav is hidden in this Sri Balavi Jivan. What is that? To some devotees, the name Radhikesha will not be given. To them, the name Sri Balavi Jivan will be given. If a devotee has no desire to become a Sakhi, that means a gopi friend of Srimati Radhika, who also meets with Krishna, like Lalita, Vishaka, Champaklata, Chitra, Tungavidya Sakhi, Sudevi, Rangadevi, like the Ashta Sakhis, Chandravali, Padma, Shaibya. These are the gopis who meet with Krishna. If a devotee has no desire to become a Sakhi, but wants instead to become a Manjari, which means a maid servant of Srimati Radhika, and render service that assists the amorous pastimes of Sri Radha Krishna from that position, from the position of a maidservant, then the name Sri Balavi Jivan is given to them. But those who chant Radhikesha will become Sakhis. Wow. As we progress in sadhana, we will be able to better understand these subtle points. So here Gurudev is giving us, who are aspiring to become Rupanugas, following in the footsteps of those who are true Rupanugas, a very powerful hint and tip in this particular kirtan. Shri Krishna Gopala Hare Mukunda, Govinda He Nanda Kishori Krishna, Ha Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida, Shri Balavi Jivan, Radhikesha. For those who are aspiring to become Sakhis, gopi friends of Srimati Radhika who meet with Krishna, they would put emphasis on Radhikesha. For those who are aspiring to be Dasyayate Mamarasostu Rasostu Satyam, for those who are aspiring and praying even to Krishna, Shyam Sundar Shikanda Shekara Smerahasa Murali Manohara Radhika Rasikamam Kripanite Svapriya Charana Kinkarin Kuru. Oh Krishna, if you can give me anything, I only have this one desire. That person who is the dearmost of your life, Svapriya Charana Kinkarin Kuru, give me the service of her lotus feet. Svapriya Charana Kinkarin Kuru. Let me be her maidservant. So, for those who are aspiring for that position, to become a real Rupanuga, here Gurudev is giving such a beautiful and powerful secret. That secret is Sri Balavi Jivan. The emphasis for those who are aspiring for being a maidservant of Srimati Radhika and Krishna in Vrindavan as a Manjari. The emphasis will be on this particular name, Sri Balavi Jivan. So for us, that means that our sadhana or our search should be to try to find out and understand why it is that this is so powerfully emphasized for those who are aspiring for that particular goal. The name Balavi Jivan is given for them who want to render service as a manjari or maidservant of Radha and Krishna. It means he who is the very life of the gopis. So I look forward to finding out more about this particular subject, because even from now, if we set our goal, then everything which comes into our vicinity, we should practically try to apply it toward our goal. How will this be beneficial for me to attain my goal? This is important on the path of bhakti, not just to be spaced out everywhere, but to start to become more and more focused, more and more refined, so that we can direct our mind and intelligence. If you're trying to focus and go to any destination, If you set your sights straight, you can go there. But imagine if it's millions of miles away and you're off by half a degree. Someone can figure this out. Imagine if you're off by just half a degree. Your calculation is off by half a degree, but you have to travel 1 million miles. By the time you travel 1 million miles, how far away will you be from the point that you were supposed to go? Someone can calculate that and share it. I'm sure you are very smart mathematicians in there. So this is very essential and very important. When we are chanting this kirtan, as we have come into this movement under the guidance of Rupa Goswami, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra with a particular desire and particular goal to receive this mood, Unata Ujvala Rasam Sva Bhakti Shriyam, to become a maid servant under the guidance of Sri Rupa Manjari, of Sri Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And as we're chanting this kirtan, Shri Krishna Gopala Hare Mukunda, Govinda He Nanda Kishori Krishna, Ha Shri Yashoda, Tanaya Prasida, Shri Ballavi Jivana, Radhikesha. Then we will put our emphasis, our focus on this particular Shri Ballavi Jivan. So, I learned something new today, which is very exciting for me, and I'm very happy that we've all learned it together. So, whenever I'm chanting this kirtan from now on, I'm going to internally emphasize that particular thing for myself. Shri Ballavi Jivan ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Sanatan Goswamipada ki jai. Shri going beyond Vaikuntha ki jai. Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Oops. 28. Look, we've come so far. 28. We're 28 pages in. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Gopal, Hare Govinda, Govinda He Nanda Krishna, Shri Krishna Gopal, Hare Govinda, Govinda He Nanda Krishna, Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida, Shri Yashoda Tanaya Prasida, Shri Vallavi Jeevana Radhikesha, Shri Vallavi Jeevana Radhikesha, Shri Vallavi Jeevana Radhikesha, Shri Vallavi Jeevana Radhikesha, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gurudev, Jai पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिदंदन गौर हरि की जय, राधा विनोदी हरि की जय, राधा बंधु की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे, राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे, राधे राधे राधे, जय 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 श्री राधे, श्री वृंदावन हरि लाल Nitya Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So thank you so much for being with us today, for inspiring and encouraging by your presence for me to remember all of these beautiful instructions of our Gurudev and Guru Varga, and for keeping me occupied and busy remembering Krishna and the instructions of our Guru Varga and Gurudev. So we look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be observing the disappearance festival of Sri Ramananda Rai. So many beautiful, essential truths of bhakti present within the conversations between him and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I welcome you all to please come back tomorrow and to give me your shelter, your guidance, and your inspiration. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.